Hi everyone, a long pending garden tour is here. As you see at my back, garden is in full swing. Um, it's a lot to cover in one video, so I am separating that into different parts, hoping that we can cover in three parts. So in the first um, tour, I'm going to cover first four beds that are having a lot of vegetables. I'm going to cover what vegetables are growing in those beds. Um, what I'm currently harvesting from those beds, how am I managing, and the varieties that these beds are having right now. So stay tuned. Let's move. Here is the long shot view of these first four beds. When I call first four, this is from left in the backyard. So the very left one is the first bed I call, and so on. I have improved the companion planting this summer. I did mix the vegetables before also while growing, but this year, as you see here, there are a lot of different vegetables that are growing. So far, I've seen issues with a couple of different plants struggling to grow together, but remaining all doing well. I'm going to explain what plants are good with companions also while I'm giving you a tour. This is the very first bed. This is under moringa tree. So these zucchinis are getting partially shade, but these are doing great. These are not producing a lot, but those are great. They are giving the zucchinis that I needed so far. So here we got a bottle gourd. This is the first time I'm growing these in my garden. Look at this one. This is a female flower. Always you remember, right? Female flower holds a baby vegetable at the bottom, while male flower doesn't have that. So I have harvested this zucchini for lunch today and cooked this with garlic and butter. It was delicious, trust me. I'm going to show you that in a second. For some reason, I never harvest zucchini properly. So I cut these into small pieces, put butter and garlic first, and then added the zucchini pieces, a pinch of salt, and a little bit chili powder. And that made a delicious dish for me to lunch today. And this is the second bed. This got tomatoes, rich gourds, some volunteer cucumbers. Those cucumbers are round and yellow. You have seen those in my previous video. Sorry, those has to be cooked. We eat them raw also, but usually we cook them. So this got a lot of potatoes. I pruned a lot of them. As you see here, one is to the trellis, and this is rich gourd. This is producing a lot of female flowers, and it just started producing male flowers. So I'm going to hand pollinate them. Here you see potatoes that are pruned, some chili de arbol, marigold, couple of tomatoes. Everything is doing good. This is mulched also with the wood chips earlier before I put the pine mulch together. These are doing great, by the way. And I got nasturtiums also growing in this bed that I'm going to remove because those are started having some problem because it is hot. So this is the third bed. This is having a lot of summer white scallop squash. As you see here, these are vertically growing. I have covered how to vertically growing these in my previous video, how I prune them. I have reduced the pruning because it is hot during the day, so I want to keep these plants warm. And also this bed is mulched with wood chips. So this got some flowers like marigold, potatoes. Look at that. These are flowering. I'm going to harvest these soon. Right side to the trellis, volunteer cucumbers. When they were young, they were small, but now those are taking over the trellis as well as the bed. And to the left, there are onions, a couple of chili de arbol, couple of indeterminate Roma tomatoes also as successive plants, and two bitter gourd plants that are growing. So this is the nasturtiums that I just talked about. So the same bed from this side. So this is a cucumber, cooking cucumber. These look like lemon cucumbers. I'll show you when I harvest them. And some onion sets I sow. These are struggling to grow with hibiscus and white squallow summer squash. So that's the only vegetable so far I've seen struggling to grow with squash and hibiscus. And the purple hibiscus are growing very well, but these are little slower compared to what I thought they are gonna grow. These just started flowering, and I've seen some baby hibiscus also, so I think I'm gonna harvest these in a week or so. I have already started harvesting green hyacinth beans. So though, look at these, how pretty are those. Nice. I have one husky cherry red tomato planted here. This is getting a little bit of powdery mildew because it's not getting enough sun. But I think once these hyacinth beans are done, this is going to be fine. I've started harvesting these. I have another volunteer plant grown from husky cherry red hybrid tomato. It's on the other side. I'll cover that in part 2. And this is a bed 4. This got some cilantro at the beginning. You can see that cilantro is growing well. You have seen the video of how to sow cilantro. I have replanted all of the cilantros that I grew from that tub. Most of them are in partial shade because it's a cool season crop. So this bed got some salad cucumbers, some lemon cucumber kind of cucumbers, hyacinth beans, green onions, marigold, chili de arbol, okra, and whatnot, basil. So this is a bitter gourd. They started producing. This bed got 4 bitter gourd, as you have seen here on the trellis. I am hand pollinating them. So surprisingly, the bitter gourd USA is a Mexican variety. I don't know the name of that, but I found those in Mexican store earlier, so I am calling them as Mexican bitter gourd. So our Indian, Asian bitter gourds are having, look at that, the edges, the ridges like that, spines, but the Mexican bitter gourd are not that spiky. These are kind of soft on the skin, and those are different in taste. We didn't really like them, but I'm going to try these because we have a couple of those plants out of these 4, maybe 3. I don't know that quite yet, so I'm not going to waste those. We'll try to cook those and see if those taste okay this time, and we're going to use them. Otherwise I have to just remove the plant. So this is how I'm hand pollinating ridge gourds, bottle gourds, and bitter gourd also. I can do it better with 2 hands, but since I'm showing you by holding my phone to just shoot that, it is getting a little bit difficult. Bitter gourd male flowers are having good pollen. You can feel that on your finger when you touch the male flower. So you can also see that on the female flower when pollen reaches. So it's easy to pollinate bitter gourds. So this is the cucumber plant I've told you just now. I've been harvesting cucumbers from this. You have seen that in previous videos too. These are thorny. These are not easy to harvest without wearing gloves. This plant kept producing, and green hyacinth beans growing in this bed have been producing, so I started harvesting those also lately. At least one vegetable from each bed is producing, so we are harvesting. It's not a lot. We are just using what we have been getting from the garden so far. Tomatoes, yes, tomatoes, a lot of tomatoes I've covered in my previous video. I'm bored to cover the tomatoes anymore. I just usually harvest just before cooking very fresh. I never use refrigerator for these vegetables. That is all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for another parts of garden tours, because there is a lot to cover. Fruit trees also almost ready to harvest. I have been harvesting blackberries, and then other vegetables also the other side. So I'm going to cover that in my next part of the harvesting videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and appreciate whoever is subscribed the channel and have been sticking around. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you next time.